requested people to move in a certain direction. We've tried to outline for them. And okay, so we have to do something about it now. That's probably tomorrow we'll mention a little bit about what we're going to do. But we're going to mobilize for this and organize for this. So we're going to start all of what we need to do. Probably our headquarters for this will be the house next door, 4481. So we got to get that fixed up. We're going to move all the stuff downstairs, get a big dumpster or two again, and just get rid of everything. We'll probably redo the floors. We're going to make this the headquarters for this movement. That's what we're going to do right now. And tomorrow we'll have a sign-up book. Anybody want to sign up, anything they can do, or we'll clean up all of what we got right now and put it to proper use. Yeah, we'll put all this stuff to proper use. The book room, everything, we'll cart everything, pack it all up. But we're going to have a daily work schedule where we kind of, you know, the Quran has ayat, go forth whether equipped lightly or heavily and strive and struggle in the way of Allah. And it's best for you if you but knew that if you go not forth in the cause of Allah, He will replace you with another people, and they won't be left. Okay, so we don't want to miss this opportunity. You know, for dawah, for everything, this is the best, this is a gift from Allah. Now the Muslims, the fat cat Muslims, they don't see it like this. It's scaring them to death. You know, they get scared when we just come around. Remember we were out there with a box, just gonna get a few dollars. Oh, we'll really fix you up if you just stop doing that. For I said, man, I ain't going for that. I know better than that. Then, okay. Man, it was months later, they come sending a few bucks. And not dollars.
Yeah, not dollars. There.
Just the doggone cards. Anyway, that's okay, that's okay. But where's the blessing then? It's such a blessing. It's a blessing. Because if we carry ourselves right, the American people will appreciate that word. It won't be long, they're going to appreciate our lectures out there. They're going to appreciate it. The people, you know, it's a small percentage. The little stuff we was doing the other week was just practice for this. We already could see, like all those people out there was not government agents. 25% of this is just a random number. We figured 1 in 4 of them was real, and you could see, they appreciated what we would be saying. They never acted on it though. They never acted on it. They wasn't there to act on it. They never acted on it. Now, we just have to come back and remind them. Remember, we told you guys, boss man was going to run y'all around the block 3-4 times. Then, quiet you down, and you go back home, and they're going to do da-da-da-da-da. It was so, you know, it gets so easy to skip what they're going to do. It's ridiculous. That's exactly what they did. Okay. So we acquired the skill to do this. We've acquired the skill. We've acquired the skill, number one, because we're here. We're here, and we're balanced. Well, we feel we're balanced. We have mastered the techniques. We've mastered the technique. Everything we've been involved in. And you got to remember, we have a whole parking lot full of cars that don't run. And trucks that are just parked there. Okay, but don't worry, we'll get rid of them. But our team is going to fix all that stuff up. So we'll be operating properly. In other words, everything that we are, we're going to another stage. And all the other stuff that was happening before today and yesterday was preparation. Remember, we were talking about always moving forward, and you got a picture of where you're going. Okay, you have a picture of the big target, and you're shooting at it. Hopefully you hit the center target. But when you pick the exact center, then your aim gets real acute then. You know, you want to hit dead center. We always headed in that direction. We ain't missing the boat on nothing, just our feet. And now we'll be shooting directly at the target. And the only way to get any better is when we shoot an arrow at the target. You shoot archery a long time ago. Is one guy, he spits the arrow out, and everybody said, "Boy, that's a bad boy there." You know, the arrow hits the target right where it should, and then the other guy shoots, and he splits the arrow. That's good shooting. That's really good shooting. Okay. We talked about the great danger of the global lockdown. And we have a secret weapon, our behavior. Now, remember the other day we said that our secret weapon is our openness, our ability to come right out on it, and we ain't got no skeletons in our closet and nothing. Okay, so y'all saw the picture of me getting arrested with, actually, if I wouldn't have put clothes on, I was in the bathroom. I was taking an enema in the Masjid in Oakland. When I come out with the shirt off and everything. And they know it because they was watching me. They've been watching, I don't know how many years. But I know that I used to, I guess y'all would remember, in 1983-84, the Russian government was microwaving the U.S. government. Microwave means that, imagine, they built a new U.S. embassy in Russia with Russian workers. And they put all kind of metal rods and receivers, all of that in the concrete. And then they'd be right across the street just microwaving beans. They was making the people sick. They was doing everything to the American embassy. And I remember that period, around 1984, I was in the Masjid, and I always stayed in the Masjid. And I heard a little ringing like stuff. So I said, I just turned on the radio. That's why I listen to the radio all the time now. Wherever you come in, the radio is on. When I turned on the radio, all that stuff stopped. Whatever was being piped toward me was the radio, you know, the waves in those days. Now they got something to go to it around it. But at that time, their sophistication was not to the point that it could interfere with the radio waves from the radio. And all of a sudden, as soon as I turned it on, no ear ringing, no nothing. You know, no disturbances. Because if they do that stuff to you long enough, you know, you might start getting a little batty, you know, hearing noises and what have you. Now you got to remember, I don't want to change the subject. The Navy Yard shooting and all that stuff. What did that brother say? I was hearing voices. He went to the FBI and told them someone was suggesting that he do stuff like that. And he told them that was there. And the FBI just said, it's all right, you know, take a couple aspirins. In other words, they knew what they were doing. Boss man is me. boss man is real mean. And if you're, okay, my sons, both of them told me, they said, Dad, you got to be careful because they got where they can see. I said, well, they can't see nothing but somebody, they got masturbating or something. That's all they can see. Remember I said that exactly? Okay, that's true. What they was doing with my sons was showing me to them. And my sons tattletales for recently, the last few years. They good brothers, they all right. They lasted a long time. I mean, can you imagine they lasted 15 and 20 years? They just started telling 10, 15 years ago. I mean, who's going to last all those years, right? And you like heroin, and you like that crack and all that stuff. You know, all that morality go away. So I said, they ain't going to be able to see nothing but that's all they're going to see. So last night I got a call from Khadijah. If you want to call Khadijah, you could call and verify this. Because see, you got to test everything now. Remember, I know what I'm talking about because I test everything. You called last night and you can see on the phone, it has last night. If you don't, let me see. See that number 510 da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That was the one they called.
That's her number.
Yeah.
So she called last night. Your hand must be broke. I just hung the phone up. So, you know, the brother's unmarried, so they do different things from time to time. That's exactly. So, 100%, they see everything I do, have done, and except what I might get ready to do. But people that's married do that ain't nothing, right? Tell the truth. A nigga can have a wife sitting there and he, you know, going through his little changes. It's the most natural thing that exists. So that's what I'm saying. You can't hold nothing over me. I ain't got no skeleton in my closet, and that proves, just up to modern time, that proves, another thing, it proves the skill to manage and manipulate the government. No, you gotta realize the skill to anticipate and to manipulate. That's why, look, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they didn't have time. They didn't have no time. They were victims. Victims mean that, you know, they were just victims of government oppression. Okay, we might have started out as a victim just like everybody else, but that was over 40 years ago. For the last 40 years, when we opened the Masjid and opened, for all of that time, we've been, for the last 35 years, we have not been victims. We have been, I'll put it this way, the closer we get to the day, the closer we get to our own freedoms and whatever. Because since y'all have been here the last decade, we've been managing our own business. There's no way you can say this is what boss man gonna do, that's what boss man gonna do all the time, and that's what he do. Tell the truth, unless you got his number, unless you got him on the hook. See, boss man, that longevity, that endurance, that hanging on over long periods of time, our brothers didn't have that chance. They didn't get anywhere close to where we are. That's why the lady was talking that old talk about, you say you, Malcolm, you.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Let me explain. Malcolm King, all the Panthers, all of my friends that got killed and assaulted and rotten in prisons, they didn't have time. The government has a tried and true pattern of behavior since past Pharaoh's time. It's the same one. They kill the men and leave the women folk alive, or we hear that there's some little messenger or somebody gonna be born, kill them all. What age he gonna be? Well, he might be 2 years old, 5 years old, he might just kill everybody from 5 years old on down, that's all, kill them all. Right? Can you imagine? That's biblical, that's Quranic, and that's real. In Esau's time, right? That's what they said, hey man, we ain't taking no chances. This is, okay, now what about niggas? Kill the men, leave the women folk alive. Okay, that was a trial for them. They did burn the brothers. Not only they burned the brothers, but they gave sisters jobs. And that destroys a brother because the man want to take care of his family. So every time he come in the house and the woman got a job and she talking to him like he lazy and he can't get a job, well, he feels bad and he might brutalize her, he might do anything because he don't understand what's going on. Okay, they know what's going on. They know, a white man know that if he can't take care of his family, he'll kill himself. You know what I mean? That boy jump off a bridge. You know, some of them. And so Negroes may just beat up everybody in the neighborhood. They probably won't jump off a bridge. But by the time he finished with drugs and alcohol and all that time in prison, and look how dirty it is. The laws, if you're on welfare or anything like that, you can't have what? A man in the house. Make sure the family, we ain't having that family stuff. Right? We're not having it. And everything that they have set up is there to destroy the black family. Drugs, alcoholism, attitudes. How many revolutionary movies came out during the revolutionary period? Not one. That old thing, Spook Sat by the Door, was after the fact and it wasn't that real. How many Superflies? How many all that, the Mac, right? Why you can't make 2 or 3 black power movies, you know, where the head of the leaders is black power and you know, do they know what they're doing? Absolutely, they know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing it with perfection and excellence. What I'm saying is, our longevity, our period of staying, and our period of making sure that we know the line. Where you cross that line, you know, you said something where they can take you to jail. You're advocating violence. So we talk about boss man, oh, he's a fool, he's a bum. But we don't never say, now you go down there and snatch him out of the White House. That's illegal. But we can tell you where the White House is. We can tell you how many people hanging out down there. We can tell you all of that. But we can't say, now you go down there and get him. Of course, that's according to their Constitution, right? What about now that we're in a transition? The saying was, if you come for me in the morning, they're going to come for you tonight. If they come for niggas before, they're coming for everybody. All America feels oppressed now. They just feel oppressed. The white people, the governors, can you imagine if the governors is feeling paranoid? Hey, okay, now, we're going to explain all of these things to people, and it just might be possibilities. that everything that we've been planning, you can never know what the numbers are going to look like. We've always said 5, 10, 15% of the FBI themselves. Right? They got a few whistleblowers every now and then. They get beat up pretty bad. But now imagine the people in the government are now saying that we don't go along with that. So are the voices going to get louder, or are they going to get quieter? With Don demands buffoonery. Don ain't going to leave a stone unturned. If he, that's why we say they hired Don to do that. That boy, look here, 3 cheers for Don. But I'm telling you, now us. So that means this Adolf Hitler show, this safety security hoax, is a super hypocrisy. It's the longest war. So we have to develop or practice what we've been discussing, strategic depth. This thing has to go deep. But we're going to use intelligence that people didn't realize that we have. We're going to tell this story so that it's not offensive. And we're going to keep telling it and telling it. And pretty soon, we're going to win middle class recognition. Is anything wrong with that? Absolutely not. Because in order to have successful transformation, you have to win a certain amount of the middle strata of society. You just have to. The so-called petty intelligentsia, the people who are freedom-loving, the so-called good people of America. Yeah. That's why we've always talked about America the good. And we've guaranteed everybody that we ain't got nothing in mind but what we say. So if you want to do something, you go ahead and do it. But this is what we're working on, right? This is our project. If you don't like it, you can kiss our behind. Disappear, nigga, you disappear everybody else. No, really, that's the way I feel. If you don't like it, just disappear somebody. You know, it's easy to say that when you're 75 years old. And you had everything that they, now, I don't know if I'd say that if I was 20, 21, or to just disappear, nigga.